So Doordash. I used the Doordash app to try and make a little extra money today, and I found numerous issues. For example, there is an old true tutorial, and usually if there's anything that's important enough to, drive a vehicle or, I don't know, use anything, there's a tutorial. Well, short of finding another video, I don't see how you're going to be able to know what to do unless you spend a few minutes and actually try and use it. Which is really bad for the customer. So, let's see. Oh, one of the issues with startup. So, they ended up having it to where... there we are. To where when you try and start dashing, as they say, you end up having to click on the area. There's going to be red, like various shades of red and gray sections of the map. You got to click on a section that is red. Did not know this. I thought, okay, click on the area, and that area gives whatever amount extra. I thought when it said start dashing, oh, well, you can just start like you would with Lyft, right? Seems simple enough. Well, actually, you have to schedule it almost like you're scheduling your shift for work. Which I understand, but it's a little bit odd to where they say you can schedule your work or you could just start dashing at any time. It makes sense after you know what it is. It should be explained a little more though. But, so, I'm there, looking at the app. I keep clicking the Thousand Oaks area because it's supposed to be extra money and I'm already there. So I keep clicking it and there's saying, oh, well, you can't dash. There's too many people there. There's no room for me. Like, are you kidding me? Next area that's not grayed out would be Camarillo. That's a few miles away. That's going down a frickin' hill. And that's not just a mile, that's a few miles away. So I'm there thinking that's... Let's try not swearing. That's BS. Alright. So I end up waiting a little bit, see how long it takes for the gray area to not become gray. So I wait, good hour later, there's red. I click on it. Oh, someone else already did it. I know that Doordash had nothing to do with this part, but I start backing up. I'm about to head to Camarillo to try it. And, of course, there's a tow truck trying to get a car that's behind us. So, we end up being stuck there for another 20 minutes. Again, not thing from Doordash, but, was quite bothersome. And, meanwhile, as soon as we find that the car's gone, I click the Doordash again, and, oh, hey, well, I can try and actually dash there. I try and I click, and I'm like, okay, the only time that they said is for about 45 minutes, because we started like 11:17 or 27, something like that, and it said that the longest that we could do, or the only one that we could do, is till 12:30. Which, I gotta say, it's stupid to just do it how they have it. I can see where it would be smart, be like, hey, we have people in this area. Almost like you've got a brick and mortar store, like a Domino's or a pizza store. There you go. A pizza store is there, then this is a radius for that pizza store. But I mean, it's a useful idea, but they should have done it more like Lyft, to where people are able to just start dashing, and hey, there's this delivery. Let's go, let's do it. And that should honestly be pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of people using these kinds of apps, so you shouldn't really have to worry about quadrants or like sections and big fancy smart words. So, oh yeah. So I finally start it, and then it ends up saying, "Oh hey, go over here." What I didn't know is that when they said this is the area that you want to go to, it's a recommendation to get more people to, what would it be called?
Orders.
More orders around there. Like a higher population or whatever, so they're like, hey, go over there. You get good stuff. Well, stupid me, who thought tutorials would probably be pretty good. I mean, I just spent a little while trying to figure all this stuff out. But here, I'm going to try it. I start heading over there, and right before I get on the freeway, it ends up telling me, hey, there's an order right behind me. But I don't know that it's right behind me. Instead, because it's a good 5 minutes for it to load up that there was an order behind us. Because they're so stupid, or not that they're stupid, but they were so unprofessional and impractical that what they did is that there's a map on Doordash. I believe it's actually Google Maps. And they use GPS for your phone to put you there. But they don't actually run the Google Maps app through their app. They have it to where you have to separately have that one opened. So, when you already ended up setting it to go to somewhere else, you have to then go into the Dasher app and then have it to where it say, oh, well, we want to do this order. We want to do it. I'm on the freeway. My wife is going to try and, fix it. And 2-3 exits later, we figure out, okay, you gotta, you gotta close or cancel the directions for where you're going, go back into the Dasher app, end up going and clicking some kind of button about use this or use these directions, and then have it to where it's like, oh, by the way, you were like 2 minutes away from it when you started. Well, would have been lovely to know that, but using a different app creates the latency, or the, how to explain it without video game terms. It creates the extra amount of time for it to process that we gotta go back. So we could have been doing this, I'd say that whole thing took probably 30 minutes to do. And it was really close. But that's mostly because a good 15 of it, like half of that whole trip, was trying to reset the coordinates, or the GPS, that's it. Because it's not running through Doordash. It's running, the address gets sent to Google Maps, or I don't know about iOS, but I got Android. So it sends it to Google Maps to then have it to where it's like, hey, go here. So I end up doing this. I finally get to where I'm supposed to, and I have to go and try and get into the Doordash app, finally. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Well, good 2 minutes, I'm like, okay, get the bag. I'm at the place of which GPS is horrible in Thousand Oaks, because that's all on Google Maps and whatnot, but Might have even damaged my car because of a sharp turn that I had to make because of issues that I've had. Lyft uses Google Maps and they run it through their own app. And that's why there are a few issues with Lyft. Sometimes there's other stuff, but that could be in a different video. What I'm saying right now is that I ended up going in, and luckily this store was completely empty. Otherwise, I would have had more issues. But the guy's like, oh yeah, on this side is our pickup. I'm like, okay, great. I go there, and he's like, what order? Say the name of the person, and he's like, perfect. Okay, got it. So he gets the dang thing out. He tosses a bunch of stuff, and say, okay, there's this and this. I look at the thing, I'm like, okay, got it. I swipe, because it's supposed to be one of those check boxes. And it's like, oh, swipe when you picked it up. Well, apparently you have to click each and every checkbox, and then swipe it. Which, I can understand that, but after you do that and you swipe it, then it says, make sure you got the drinks, or this, or that. It's like, okay. It's like trying to delete a document from your computer. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Are you sure you're sure? Do you know what this is? No computer does that because why? You're like, hey, do you want to delete this? Yes? Okay, done. Because, humans have issues, but if we mess up, it's our fault. But before I left, I had an issue to where the bag itself sucks. The opening, it's made to collapse and zip up. I think that's a neat little thing. But actually putting something bulky in there, I mean, if you try and put this in there, you're good. Try and put something like, I don't know.
Bag of chips? It's big.
Sure, bag of chips. Try and put that in. If it was a bit bigger, you try and put it in, and the bag's going to fold in on itself. Because it goes like this, opens up on both sides. So it's kind of mirrored on this side, to where it opens up, and you got a nice little rectangular hole to put the stuff in. But as it collapses, the little pieces that go like this gets in the way. A little bit of plastic, a magnet, stuff like that, it would easily help it. In fact, I'm probably going to modify the bag if I even decide to continue with Doordash. I mean, it's a super cheap fix, but they don't have it with the stuff you get. I also thought that there was a shirt that you're supposed to get too, but they didn't send that. They only sent a bag and a red card, which... Red card. So confusing with it. I thought that I was supposed to use it every time, because this thing doesn't say whether you're supposed to use it every time or not. They just say, oh, this is how you activate it. Here's a little thing. Okay, do that. Declare W-9 taxpayer identification. Schedule your dash, your first dash. Great. They don't say, by the way, you're not going to use this every time. So I'm there, half pulling my wallet out to pull this dang thing out, and the guy's just handing me the receipt already. It's like, oh, the person must have paid for it already. So I half felt like I was stealing their food. I was not informed of this. I don't even know if it was. I'm still assuming that it just automatically paid for it. But I do that. And then, let's see. So, the stores themselves, they're the ones that ends up dealing with it. And I only did 2 today because I think my car was messed up. And they do not have an easy way to pause your schedule. If you go to try and end it, before your schedule is done, I don't even know how to. I go to look to try and figure it out, and then another one pops up and it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I've only got to, or fudge it.
Well, there goes keeping it clean.
Only one, oh well. Anyhow, I end up just deciding it's one trip, and then 12:30 comes about, and I'll be done. Only one is able to be done in that amount of time. So I do that, pull a few blocks away, pull over, and I look under my car, and I see that there's some damage to like the little plastic thing underneath. I don't know technical terms. I can fix a car, ish, but I don't know the names of every part. Although, never mind. Not gonna get any smart at Alex stuff. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the stores themselves should have like a little sign that says food ordering or pickup, like actually vibrant. Something to where if you saw it on the wall, you'd be like, hey, it's there! Otherwise, I ask someone else and they're like, oh, very back. Okay. So if I'd have known that, then there could have been like a little sign saying, instead of going in where all the other customers coming in are, hey, go to the little door out on the side. Much easier. But that's a store issue. And it should be recommended to all stores that do this, hey, have a little area that's a little more obvious. If anyone even sees this. Let's see. Got a little list of stuff. And it is decent pay. And that's one of the things. Only did 2 and made like $23 or something like that. Wasn't even an hour. $23. Pretty good. And I didn't use much fuel at all. I mean, let's see.
Other than when we had to backtrack that first time.
Yeah, that probably
was
used
the
up the
worst
most.
part, yeah.
And we don't actually live in Thousand Oaks, but we were in Thousand Oaks anyhow and just decided to try and use it. I mean, we need money, so screw it. Let's see. Yeah, actually, I said most of this stuff. Don't live in a high-value city, otherwise you're going to have to drive out of city, go out of your way in order to use this. And from my understanding, these kind of apps are supposed to be, hey, just make money on your time. Oh, well, you're just casually driving around, you don't mind driving or going into places, you got some free time, do it. Scheduling it for an hour makes it to where it's a little more difficult. Like for Lyft, I end up scheduling saying, hey, yeah, I'm on duty. And then it'll say, hey, this person's nearby, you want to do that? I'll be like, yeah. As soon as that's done and I don't want to do anymore because, I don't know, a freaking 2-hour trip from, what was it, like Moore Park all the way to LA? It was a 2-hour drive, middle of the night. We were about ready to just call it a night anyhow. I was like, one more, why not? Should only be like 15 minutes average. End up doing that freaking 2 hours later. Well,
2 a.m.
yeah. Actually, I think it was closer to like 4 or something like that when we got home, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because we live in Ventura County, not LA County. But, yeah. But Lyft, I can go ahead and talk about in another thing. But I like that whole situation to where you just click a button, you're on duty. Click a button, you're done. It's not, oh, you're scheduled to work for a certain amount of time. It's just, you are or you're not. I mean, DoorDash really needs to fix the whole using another app with their app.
They need to make it more mainstream.
Mainstream, I guess, yeah. They may need to make it a little more user-friendly. If you're going to somewhere, have it to where you click a button and it doesn't just send you to another app. That ends up using up the little processor that you got in your phone. And say you got Pandora on, you're jamming or whatever the hell. Oh, or YouTube Reds, music stuff. Whatever people do. So you got that running. You also have, I don't know, whatever the hell people have. All that's going on. You don't really get to, what was I saying? Okay. You don't really have that rapid of a response between the app to the or the distance between the two apps. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time to load it. In fact, Google Maps crashed a few times because it's trying to register. Okay, you're done with this, and now you want to go to another thing. There's issues. I did two, and each one I marked down. Uh, Forgot the options that they had, but they had, was it app issues? Each one I put app issues. The second one I didn't necessarily want to do because I want to check my car and make sure it wasn't broken. But I couldn't end the thing, and if I end up having it to where I say, oh, well, I'm not going to do this, then my acceptance rate or whatever goes down, and then I get dinged for it. I'm not up for that. So, I was kind of strong-armed into doing it. And heck, I had a monster on the way back because bothersome. Don't do it in a high-value city. Goes through Google Maps as an external app. You should have Google Maps as an internal. I mean, after a while, like after the first one, they ended up saying, hey, by the way, now that you finished that, would you like to have Google Maps or have the Dasher app just out there as like a little button you can press? I mean, sure, you're not explaining it enough. I had no idea about this Dasher button thing. But sure. No. It would be nice to know what it is, and in the middle of going to another dash or whatever, it would be nice to be able to know what the app entails before you finish, and instead of giving something in the middle of a second usage or whatever, a second run or anything, whatever the hell you want to call it, instead of just putting it out there after you are trying to figure this out, why not just say, hey, here's a practice. I think Lyft actually did that. They have a practice thing. Okay, here's what you're going to do.